Hello, my name is Katie Shelton, and I'm a conservation intern with the Chesapeake Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve located at BIMS. Today, I'm going to show you how to draw a seahorse. You can type questions into the chat box at any time during this lesson, and I will answer them by typing a response back to you. For our drawing today, you are going to need a pencil, a marker of your choice, preferably with a fine tip, some colored pencils, and a piece of paper. To get started, we're going to draw an oval in the center of your paper. Next, leaving a small gap in between, we're going to draw a small circle just above the oval. It doesn't matter if they're perfect because these are in pencil and they will be erased later. Next, you're going to draw one dot on the left and the right side of the oval, and one dot on the top and bottom of the circle. We're going to connect the bottom dot on the circle with the left dot on the oval, using a line that curves to the right. And we're going to do the same thing with the top dot on the circle and the right dot on the oval. Next, we're going to trace down the left side of the oval from the dot and create a spiral just below the oval. This is the left side of the tail. And we'll do the same thing on the right side to create the tail and finish it off. Next, we're going to draw the nose, and you'll start by making a curved line down from the top of the circle and connecting it to the bottom. Now we're going to draw two diagonal lines coming off the back of the seahorse, and we're going to connect them with a wavy line to create the back fin. Now, starting at the top of the circle, going to draw a curved line up, a small line horizontally, and then a curved line down to create this swoopy pattern that is going to create the spines on the back of the seahorse. We're going to do this all the way down the back of the seahorse, and as it gets to the bottom of the tail, they become smaller and smaller until they peter off. Next, we're going to draw the eye, which is just a small circle with a dot in the center for the pupil. Now, starting at the top of the neck, we're going to draw two columns of dots, which are horizontally in line with one another, all the way down the body of the seahorse. As you get down to the bottom of the seahorse, the dots will become closer together. And when you get to the curve of the tail, you can just draw one dot rather than two side by side. Next, we're going to mimic the pattern of the spines on the back of the seahorse and connect the dots using swoopy lines all the way down the body of the seahorse. We're going to do the same thing with the left row of dots, but this time we're going to curve the lines the opposite direction. So we just connected the dots vertically, and now we're going to connect them horizontally. So starting from the left side of the neck and moving across each dot into the right side of the neck, you're going to connect both dots with the sides of the seahorse's body, using the same swoopy line fashion. Continue this even down throughout the tail where there are only one dot instead of two. Next, to finish off the face, we're just going to draw a small squiggly line as the mouth. And now your seahorse is complete. Next, we're going to go in with the fine-tipped marker, or any marker of your choosing, and we're going to outline the entire body of the seahorse. Once the body is outlined, we're going to outline the back fin and draw some dashed lines within the fin to add texture and make it look more realistic. Next, we're going to trace the spines along the back of the seahorse. All the way down to the bottom. And then we're going to trace over the facial features of the seahorse, first doing the eye and then the mouth and any nose details that you want to add. Now, along the right side of that circle that we drew in pencil, draw a squiggly line to create the jaw. And then we're going to retrace over those 2 rows of dots all the way down the body of the seahorse. Then you're just going to go over your pencil lines in the swoopy line pattern that connect all of the dots. Once you connect the horizontal lines, you're going to go back through and also connect the vertical lines so that all of the dots are connected in a grid-like fashion. Once everything is traced, you're going to go in with your eraser and erase all of the underlying pencil lines that we didn't need to trace over. This is primarily going to be the circle and oval that we drew at the beginning of the video. Now to add some color to our seahorse, you're going to need a yellow and a light brown colored pencil. Crayons or markers will also work if you prefer. For the base color of the seahorse, color the entire body yellow. Once the seahorse is filled in, we're going to go in with the brown colored pencil and do some shading along the back of the seahorse. The shading will make the seahorse look more realistic with a lighter belly, a medium colored middle, and darker along the back. You can also add some shading with your brown colored pencil to the head of the seahorse as you see fit. Lastly, to create our seahorse's habitat, we're going to draw some seagrass in the background using a green colored pencil. You can do this by drawing a wavy line, creating a point at the top of that line, and following it back down to create the blades of grass. You can do this with several different colors of green if you wish. And to make it more realistic, you can put some of the blades of grass directly behind the seahorse. Once you have drawn your desired amount of grass blades, you can go back through and color them in, shading them in with the different colors of green to make the grass look more realistic. Once you are satisfied with how your blades of grass look, your seahorse drawing is complete. Thank you all for drawing along with me today. I had a great time and I hope that you did too.